Welcome to the Nexus Unloaded podcast. This is Will Crozier.
And I'm Nikki Westcombe. We are the founders of Nexus Performance. Joining us on this wild ride is our heavyweight coaching team, ready to unleash their expertise to solve any problems in your journey to getting strong and jacked.
Through our real-world experience, we hope to break things down in a digestible, applicable, and entertaining way.
So pump up the volume and let's get into this.
That was my childhood too.
I played heaps of games.
Yep.
Mainly racing.
I still play some games.
Need for Speed.
It's good for the brain.
And then Call of Duty.
Sometimes.
I was a Fortnite kid.
Yeah, that says a lot about Kivah here, who's just turning 14.
Yes.
Yeah, it does actually. Yeah. Look, that explains everything we need to know.
Did you do the dance? Did you do the dance?
No, God, no. I didn't snoop that low.
Kivah, you can come in a bit closer, mate.
Oh,
get in nice.
You got to cuddle into him.
We're here live, Nexus Unloaded podcast.
Yes.
We've got a bit of a different.
It looks a bit different today.
It looks very different.
I am not Will.
Will looks a lot worse for wear.
Oh.
Mickey has grown a beard. Aged very well. So
unfortunately, Alex is still the same.
And I'm still here. Yep. What can you do? Not much.
We've tried our best.
We've tried our best. So we've got a nice episode here introducing Kivah Performance.
Hi.
Kivah is our star desk imp for a Saturday and a Wednesday morning.
Yeah.
And he's been around the team for a while. He started off working with Coach Josh many years ago. We have an origin story incoming for Kivah.
I reckon we'll rip into the origin story.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. We've got a couple of announcements first. We might just go through those just before we get into the rest of the bullshit. We've got an announcement for the Nexus Games. So we're doing end of year event on
9th of December.
9th of December here on the Gold Coast.
Somewhere
To be confirmed. We're still working out those details, but we should have details coming out. I won't say today because this podcast will get released in 4 weeks and we'll just be totally out of timeline. But it'll be somewhere around. What are we on today for the date? Is it 20th of September?
Today is the 20th. Yeah, we're nearly done September.
Nearly done with September already. Holy shit.
Good.
Things are flying past. Flying past. So we have the Nexus Games. It's going to be a bit of a strongman spin on this event. So we're going to be doing a few different kind of events, maybe some tire stuff, maybe some keg stuff.
Basically all the stuff we don't do in the gym currently.
Yeah. The stuff we don't have room for, the stuff that we tell you to go into the parking lot and do. That's what we're going to be running this event on. It's going to be a good time, something different. We've got a lot of, people in the gym that are doing a lot of, be it running or cardio activity or things that are a little bit left of field when it comes to athletics and sports. So we thought we'd throw them into the ring and, do some different stuff.
It's definitely going to be interesting.
It'll be a nice end of year event. It'll be fun, I think.
I'm excited
Christmas.
to see it.
Yeah. Another exciting announcement. Will and Mickey getting married this weekend.
Well, by the time the podcast comes out, it'll be weeks ago, and they will be on their honeymoon in the United States of America, in the land of the free, home of the brave.
Left the gym and the podcast in our hands, our capable hands.
We got this. Let's go.
So that's going to be a great day. You can feel the vibes already this week. Like it's getting warmer. We're coming into spring.
Definitely.
Mum and Dad getting married.
Aircons are on.
Aircon is blasting today.
Aircons are crazy.
Yeah.
I looked at the weather. Tomorrow's going to be 32.
That's fucked.
Top of 32.
What's tomorrow, Thursday.
Yeah. Perfect. Cooking.
Good.
I might work from home that day in the aircon.
I'll work from home anyway, so Thursday mornings are good for me. Sit with the aircon on, Semi under the fan.
Yep. Perfect.
He's chilling.
That's sorted.
Yep.
He's chilling.
You boys sweating it out together.
Kivah will be stacking shelves at Chemist Warehouse.
Mate, I stack those shelves so well.
Yes, you do.
You bet I do.
And we've got you're about 8 weeks out from comp. Is that correct?
Yeah, about 7.5 now. Yeah.
7.5 weeks.
Yep. Yeah, coming in close. It's fucking coming quick.
It is coming quick. Yep.
It's coming quick. Go to single squats this week, which I remember going when I was first switched back to wraps. Felt like it was yesterday, but apparently it's not. It was a long time ago. Yeah, quite a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
8 weeks out, 7.5 technically. Things are going well.
What's the date for that?
That is the 12th of November.
Perfect.
At
Valhalla Strength Brisbane. That will be the battle in Valhalla. The day before the Spring Cup, I have 6 people doing it.
Yep.
Big day.
It's going to be a big day. Before
a big day
competing myself, and I've got 3 people competing with me as well, clients, which is going to be, it's going to be a big weekend. That one, that's the comp Alex did last year, the first comp.
Yep.
which was a good day. We had a heap of a Nexus team come down and support, and I hope we can
That
sort
was
of
a good
generate
day.
that same
Very good day.
vibe and energy again, because I'll definitely need it on the Sunday, and I know the team will need it on the Saturday. So
Yeah.
no, it'll be really good. And
Yeah.
I think Kivah is 12 weeks out
About 12 weeks out.
Yep.
Maybe just
from
over.
the Christmas Cup.
3rd of December. Down
APL
That's
Christmas Cup.
That's at Zero at
at
a
Zero
Rundle.
at a Rundle.
Yep.
Yeah.
And how's prep going for that?
It's going.
Talk us through it.
It's going. Had a few little things pop up. Slightly tweaked my hamstring a few weeks ago. That came good. But now I've done something to my lower back ligament and slightly tweaked my outer glute.
Okay. Yeah.
Just squatting.
Too much hip thrusting.
Too much hip thrusting. Way too much hip
He's
thrusting.
got powerful hips, though.
Yeah.
That boy.
Those the RDLs,
Big
they'll
bunda.
get ya.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just warming up for squats and kind of just shifted into one hip and just felt and heard a pop.
So what have you guys been doing with training to work around for that if we're in comp prep now, 12 weeks out?
It's literally been a matter of some days you can come in and do one thing, and then the next week you can't do it because it hurts too much. So it's been a bit of a mixed bag, which is not great. But fortunately, when we look at things like this with relation to training, we don't just look at, okay, the last 3 weeks may not have been perfect. But Kivah has now, which we'll get into shortly, but Kivah has now been training for quite a few years. So his ability to peak and adapt, and this isn't a competition that we're looking to go in and take first place. This is a competition we're just looking to go in and qualify for the drug tested nationals in 2024. So in terms of that, we can not necessarily take it a little bit cruisier because the level of competition within APL now is like heating
Getting
up.
bigger.
It's
way bigger.
growing. The fact that they're going to have 2 Queensland states next year is insane.
Yeah, right.
I mean, let alone this competition coming up in December, like
Sold
sold
out
out in 23 minutes. And I had to go onto the wait list.
75 spots with 50 on the wait list.
Yeah.
I do
23
remember,
minutes. It was intense.
Yeah. I remember that night in the gym because, well, you dropped the ball.
I dropped the ball
You
and
dropped
I
the
was
ball.
like, I need a credit card. I need a debit card because I don't have mine on me. Miles,
Mind you, I'm pretty sure I said about 6 times, if you need the money, let me know and I will give it to you now.
I did hear that a few
and
times.
then he just ran off and hid in a corner and come back and goes, I missed. Yeah.
Because I had the money. I needed the physical card. I didn't have my card on me.
Did you have cash or something? And
No.
Trying to stuff it into the phone.
No, I didn't have my wallet on me. It was at home.
Okay.
And I needed a physical card with
Yes.
bank details on it.
Yep.
And so I'm just there like, Josh.
No, he didn't even say Josh. He ran off and hid in the corner.
You asked Miles, I think, at one point.
Yeah, I did.
I think you asked me as well.
I was like, hey, you got a credit card on you?
I
Can
said, isn't
transfer
Josh
money into
offering?
We're not going to get into that today. That's
All right,
that's,
we'll leave
that's,
that one.
That'll sort of carry on in the conversation, I think, as a key consistency.
A good segue leading into Kivah Performance and how you two met. Was it on Tinder? How did it go down?
Yes.
Well, we first met when Kivah was like 16, so I surely hope. I really hope it wasn't on Tinder. No, I'll kick us off on that front, I guess, because this was back in the day when I was at a gym called EMF, and I was sitting there training one of my clients one day in the outer rig, and I saw this scrawny little kid with braces, long hair, and a beanie. Load up like 200 plus kilos on a bar.
We'll find a photo for that, by the way.
I've got plenty of photos.
He's got plenty.
Load up 200 plus kilos on a bar, and I remember turning to my client and going, "Oh, for fuck's sake, I'm going to have to go save this kid in a second because he's about to he's going to hospital today."
Squatting?
Just need a quote.
No, deadlifting.
Deadlifting.
But I was even still like, what is this kid doing? Never seen him before in my life.
I was thinking the same thing.
And then he just stood up. And I was like, who the fuck is this kid? Like, literally, he's a child.
Yes.
And then I didn't talk to him that day. I kind of just didn't talk to him again. I saw him every now and again.
Okay.
And then it wasn't until one of the other boys, Big Jordo, who's an old school powerlifter from the coast, very well known sort of around the area, known within the crowd. He sort of put up a post being like, I had a chat to this young kid today at the gym, blah, blah, blah. This was a bit of a rundown on him. And then it randomly Kivah popped up. And I was like, boy, that's that random kid that's like, sporadically in the gym just lifting weird weights that doesn't make sense to me about how he's doing it.
With braces and a beanie on.
Braces,
it was
long
the
hair
braces.
and a beanie. Yeah, it was the braces and a beanie
in
in the middle of summer.
Bro,
It
I
was
used
really
to rock.
throwing me off that I was
Right.
like, who the fuck is
Used
this?
to rock up to EMF in trackies that had been like paint stained from
Oh
like
my
my
God.
job.
Yeah.
Just rocking up to EMF,
This sounds like
flanny.
you.
Not too
beanie.
dissimilar to what he will still wear now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Looking homeless.
Must
Yeah.
have had some really good aircon at the old EMF if you're rocking up in trackies and a
Dude.
beanie and a flanny, or
Good stuff.
do you just love the heat?
I just love sweating.
Love sweat. Okay.
I've woken up a sweat.
Fantastic.
We won't get into that one.
Carry on.
And then I remember going in there, maybe it was like that weekend, and I just saw him there and I was like, oh, fuck, I'll have a bit of a chat to him, see what's going on. We had a bit of a chat for a while, and then I think it was Jordo actually organised with Will for Kivah to come around and do a session out of his house.
Yep.
This was probably early 2020, maybe even earlier than that, late 2019. So,
I think it was late 2019.
yeah, a little bit before the world shut down.
Mm-hmm.
So Kivah had gone and done a couple sessions there and things like that. And actually, this would have been like mid 2019. This would have been quite a while. Yeah, this was a long time.
How was your first encounter with Wilbo at his home?
Oh, it's like, who are you? And why are you so big and strong? I was like, this is amazing.
This
you
is
would
back.
have you would have had the time of your life.
Dude.
This is back in the day before Wilbo, like, was a phenomenal communicator.
Okay.
So this was back like similar situation with me, where it was like probably the most awkward interaction of my life on my behalf, just as much as Will's.
Yeah.
But this was back when like I would rock up and pay Will to do sessions at his house, but Mickey would like sort of take charge of it all.
Yes.
And Wilbo would just
hang around,
be there.
Yeah.
No, he'd tell me, do this, fix this, let's adjust this.
Yeah.
But then in between sets, Mickey would be the one talking. And then it's kind of like, it'd go back to, then as soon as the set goes, Will's like, yep, so we're doing this and this. It was great. I fucking loved it because I was just like, this is sick. I love this, squatting, looking out over the fucking water. Like, it was a mint time.
Yeah.
But yeah, I saw Kivah did a couple of sessions there with him, and I was just like, cool. I'll have a bit of a chat to him, see what it's all about, and see who he is and whatnot. And through that time, just developed like a bit of a relationship, a friendship. And yeah, I guess it's gone so quick that like the rest is sort of history. We kind of just took him under my wing a little bit.
Yeah, 100%.
We were both prepping for the same comps at the same time. So I was kind of like, okay, well, I'm going to go to zero, so you need to come to zero with me.
Was that your first powerlifting comp?
That was my first ever powerlifting comp. That was yours as well, wasn't it?
This was mine as well, yeah.
Yeah, so we did our first powerlifting comp together at the same comp.
Cute.
He was coached by someone else at the time, just one of his mates.
Yeah.
And I remember being like, all right, well, I'm going to go train at zero, so you need to come and train at zero with me. Like, come and use some of the equipment. Same thing we say here. Get used to the equipment, get used to the feeling of it all.
Yep.
Did our first comp together, and then I remember organising one of the boys to come and help handle him. Through COVID, through all the shutdowns and things like that, like he was this was post our lockdowns, but this was still when shit was going on and the borders were shut and like New South was locked out.
I was in Melbourne. We were locked down for
Yeah.
years.
Kivah was a little immigrant, a little Mexican border jumper, and he would park up at Tweed, run down the side of the beach, run up the beach carrying his bags.
Bro,
his dad's
3
car,
bags, man. 3 bags?
Getting his dad's car and fuck off up the coast. And then, he'd come and train with the boys. And then I remember we were prepping for the comp, and it got to a point where they were essentially like, if he crosses the border,
I couldn't come back.
he will not be allowed back. No
Sorry,
matter
who
what.
said this?
Just the government
Authorities,
it was like a big,
Yeah. Well, look, to be fair, if I was on border patrol and I saw you running
Bro,
across the
you'd
sand,
spear tackle me so hard,
you'd be
man.
going down.
I had 3 bags. I look homeless. Like, who knows what I've got
This guy's
on me?
up to suspect
filthy
behaviour.
little long-haired hippie,
Dude,
homeless looking bloke coming across the border carrying
Right.
bags.
Just say you're collecting shells or something.
Dude,
They'll leave you
I
alone.
had a black duffel bag strapped around me and
That's
2
pretty
bags
sus.
on each side.
That's
Like,
very sus.
and I looked homeless. Like, what did you think? You
Yeah.
know?
They honestly probably just thought he was homeless. And this was just a regular daily occurrence. He just has to get from one side of the beach to the other.
Let him go. He's not worth it.
But yeah, this was when he was like wrapping up high school by this point,
Yeah.
and he kind of just stayed across the border.
I
So
think
we
I
just
was.
did every session together.
Yeah.
And then we got through his first comp, and we kind of sat down post-comp, and his coach at the time was good, got him to a really great point.
Yeah.
But was a bit more of a CrossFit focus, not necessarily like as much of a coach. He just kind of did it for fun kind of thing.
Yeah.
I just sat down with him and I was like, if you want to take this a little bit serious, like I'm happy to just take you on pro bono, do it for free. Kind of like my first sponsored athlete back in the day when I was working for myself.
Dude,
Mainly because he was young. He had no money. And I was like, fuck, I'd feel bad to charge him for
Yeah.
one. And I just kind of want to help him out. Took him under my wing a little bit because I was very fortunate that pretty much ever since I first started, I'd had multiple people just take me under their wing, help teach me, help me out with everything they could. And like, there's been plenty of times where I've had people help me out free of charge when they definitely didn't need to. But, you know, they might have seen something in me or they might have just wanted to help out and just thought I'd pay it forward, do the same thing for Kivah.
Yep.
And then,
Very
so what's that? That's
grateful.
probably three and a bit years now that I've coached him.
Yep.
Ever since we've gone to nationals, we've qualified for worlds. Unfortunately, there was an injury that took place.
Yep.
Deadlifted 300 plus. Deadlifted 300 on the platform.
300, yeah.
300.
Yeah.
Like that's a big fucking number at under
That
90
was a big
kilos.
moment.
I really enjoyed that moment because it showed through a lot of like particularly your character and obviously your journey with Josh and stuff like that. And you guys had a great celebration together. But when you were a little bit uncertain on that lift of your lockout, I think that was your issue.
Yeah.
And you put the weight down and yelled at the judges, please.
We definitely are going to put that video up because
That's-
that
yeah,
is a
yeah.
classic.
Yes.
It begs the judges.
Because you got 2 out of 3 white lights as well, right?
Yeah.
They could have given that to you out of sympathy. Very
Dude.
well could have been the case, right?
I think it was one of those things where it's like they kind of have to side on the favor of the lifter,
Yes.
and the judge had called down before he'd locked.
That's right. Yep.
Because the
But he
idea was-
continued to lock,
Yeah.
so that's why
Yeah.
the side judge had heard down and he'd kept moving backwards, but he hadn't fully locked. So he was technically doing the right thing.
Yes.
It was literally just one of those small little mistakes that can happen, like
Yeah.
when you're
Yeah.
judging quick and it's all happening live, like shit happens.
Yeah.
And they gave him benefit of the doubt, and I've never seen a kid jump so high. He set the high jump world record
Right.
as he deadlifted
was like,
300.
Perfect.
Kneed me in
Oh,
the stomach or like hit me somewhere.
Hit him.
And then his favorite thing to do when he celebrates
Slap.
is slap my back, not just once, but he'll just go like, and I'm like, fucking stop, stop. I don't like it.
I remember when I first deadlifted 300 here, I did the same thing.
Yes.
And he's like,
I had no shirt on that day 'cause
Right.
I was training.
he goes, stop slapping me. And I'm like, sorry.
And then he did
I'm
it one
so
more
sorry.
time, and I was like, cunt. Sorry, Mickey. Stop slapping me. But it's a great video. Both the times he's deadlifted 300, there's been a really cool celebration in the background from both of us.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I think it has sort of highlighted, like, I think it highlights a coach and an athlete's journey in terms of the fact of, like, when an athlete achieves great things and they've been working with a coach for a long time, the athlete is obviously excited, stoked, etc.
Yep.
Yeah.
But even from a coaching perspective, like getting to witness, like
Absolutely.
I first saw Kivah deadlift 200,
Yep.
and then I saw his first 220,
Yep.
and then I helped coach him to his first 240, 250,
50.
260, like all
Yep.
the way up
Yep.
to 300,
Yep.
which is fucking huge.
Yeah.
And it's just one of those things that kind of like just highlights. I'm pretty sure I've literally been there for every massive deadlift he's ever done.
Yeah.
I was there for his
Yeah.
first 200 kilo squat. I was there for his first 140 kilo bench.
Yeah.
I've been there for every sort of little milestone achievement as you sort of taper through your lifting career and things like that. So
Yeah.
And it's like, it's really like, it's special to know that I've been able to share those moments with him. Just not as a really great mate, but just as a coach as well.
as
Sure.
his
Like-
father,
Yeah, as my papi.
even to the point where I took him in and housed him,
Yes.
Yep.
and he currently lives with me.
Yeah. Can't
Yep.
get rid of him now.
Well,
Well,
apparently I can.
We'll bring that up another time. But yeah, no, it's really great, and that's something that I've really enjoyed coming into Nexus as well, because obviously I met you more so.
Yeah.
Well, it was kind of as we were building the gym as well, because you got roped
yeah.
into that. We put you to work straight away.
Josh is like, hey, so this is what's happening.
Yep.
You're coming with me. And I was like, okay.
Is that how you? Obviously, Josh told you about the gym, and
Oh no, I was just leaving Nexus. I was like, I was leaving EMF. And I
Yeah.
was like, all right, man. So I'm going to start at Nexus. The gym opens this date, but you can start at this date. Here's a link.
perfect.
Pay for your gym membership. Quit EMF, and we're off.
Yep.
And I just took him with me.
I was just training on a Saturday morning, and it's like it's really crazy to like have seen the gym come together like over these past couple of years.
Yep.
Because I was kind of training here sort of when it really wasn't officially open.
when we were bare bones.
Yeah, legit. Like
still had
gym
metal
mats.
shavings on the floor.
Yeah, gym mats weren't
Yeah,
down.
when Wilbo's like, oh, you can start working out of there if you want.
Yeah,
in
Barefoot.
2 weeks.
Barefoot.
And then I was like, yeah, sick. Oath, let's go. And then we just had like concrete,
literally.
barely any equipment.
That
Yep.
that
Just pretty much all the
pivot
stuff from their
leg
house.
press.
Yeah.
The one that
Oh,
just
yeah.
kind of
The
crushed
Nautilus
you.
one.
Yeah. Crushed your
Yeah,
kneecaps.
felt great on the dips, that one. But yeah, that was really nice to have, even just a few experienced people kind of come into the gym off the bat as well. And, because it felt like I was playing a little bit of catch up in some sense. I was brand new to Nexus. I'd only met Will and Mickey 3 months before we started opening the gym. And a very similar story to both of you guys going to their house and mainly talking to Mickey for 2 hours while we both sat there. And then he chimed in every now and then and offered me a job at the end of it, and I was gobsmacked.
Yeah.
But, I remember seeing particularly when I started coming into the gym and you were training here, and I was like, who's this kid? Like, why is he, braces, long hair, beanie, and he's pulling some ridiculous numbers out of his butt. It was crazy. And it's been nice just to see that growth, personally as well, knowing you as a friend, but also then as a lifter, as an athlete. Obviously, we sponsor him through Nexus, and we put a lot of time and effort into making sure that you are a success story.
Which is...
It's getting there.
Yeah, so unbelievably grateful for that.
Yeah.
And
I knew we'd get one out of it.
yeah,
Yeah, of
bloody
course.
oath
I
you were gonna
knew we'd get one. Unbelievably grateful.
Get the button ready if he does it again.
That's his one and done. That's it.
Done. So unbelievably. And now to the point that we've even got you doing some hours here at the gym.
Yes.
We sat down recently, me and Kivah as well. We discussed a little bit of a longer term plan for him here at the gym and what he wants to move into and how we can help facilitate that as well. And you pretty much reeled off every responsibility that I have in my job.
Yeah, so coming for him.
He's coming for me.
It's all right.
Yeah.
I reckon we can work something out. We'll sort it out.
Yeah. But
Yeah, I
yes,
remember having that conversation. You kind of just turned to me and he's like, so you coming for my job?
Yeah.
And I was like, no, kind of, yeah, maybe.
And since then, I've been stunting his growth. No, I'm joking.
we can just swap roles. You always say you're too busy.
With you or with Kivah? That's what you're
Just
saying.
in general.
I'll go back to cleaning,
Yeah.
scrubbing the floor.
Kivah just sits behind the desk.
Yeah, text people.
Hey, so thank you so much for.
Yeah, if you ever get a DM from the Instagram, it's generally probably Kivah.
If there's a lot of explanation points, it's Kivah.
If there's a lot of anything, adjectives,
A lot of adjectives.
Adjectives.
Yes.
you're guaranteed it's a Kivah
Yeah,
response.
repeat words.
Yeah.
Stuff
Yeah,
like
it's
that.
perfect.
Yeah.
But no, you're doing a fantastic job, and we're obviously, we're super proud to have you here as well.
Thank you.
With like your training and stuff, because obviously we were talking about a big moment from a coaching perspective as well. But like, do you want to share a little bit of your journey as to why you actually got into fitness and strength training? Like, how did you get to pulling 200 kilos off the floor at EMF, and Josh wondering who is this kid?
Yeah. Well, I guess it just starts from like kind of when I was in school. Just really active, love sports. Played around with AFL for a little bit. Went into rugby. Was a little bit too small in structure for that. Got absolutely fucked up. I remember one.
You'd be too nice.
Sorry, man.
Someone would be running at someone to tackle them and be like, you know what, bro? I'm really sorry.
Dude.
Could I just
It's not enough time in a rugby match for that.
fully got bowled over.
Okay.
And anyway, yeah, I was just, looking for something to do outside of school hours. Had a mate who was going to the gym and he was like, hey, why don't you come to the gym with me and we'll just have a session? And he just showed me a few little things, just showed me the ropes on a few different exercises. I was like, this is pretty fun. Like, this
How
is
old
cool.
were you then?
Be like 15, 16.
Okay.
No coach at the time, just literally going in with a mate, just having a few sessions, just doing some bro stuff, just bro training, bro splits, everything like that, having some fun. And yeah, one of my mates at the gym, he worked there. He was like, hey, like, I can see that you've got a drive for it. You're passionate about training. You're always in here, like almost every day. Would you like to go under my wing and like be coached a little bit? I was like, yeah, that'd be awesome. At the time, like I knew him as well. Shout out to Jack Robbo. And he put me through a few different programs and we just found some things that stuck. And from there, I just kept going forward.
I just got you to 200
more or less. Yeah. A lot of my stuff was, as Josh said, he was a bit more of a CrossFit coach.
Right.
So started off with a little bit more CrossFit stuff, still strength and conditioning, but just had a little bit more CrossFit involved with it. But then, took more of a strength and conditioning path and just from there loved it.
Just soaked it up.
Just loved it.
Yeah. As you can see.
Yeah. I'm a little bit bigger. Still trying to get bigger, but
Sure.
I'm getting there.
Yeah.
But yeah, from what?
Ain't we all?
We're all trying to get bigger, mate.
Yeah.
Still,
Still, yeah.
it
but-
doesn't end.
No. But so you got like the bug pretty quickly. Like
Pretty quickly.
you started going every day.
Yeah, it was like 5 or 6 days a week.
Yeah.
Just absolutely fell in love with it. And yeah, just kind of seeing that gradual progression over time and just getting those like little wins week by week.
Correct me if I'm wrong. You did
yeah.
end up having a home setup, did you not?
Did
You
have
had a setup as well at
Yes.
home and also a gym membership.
So as COVID was kicking off, bought some stuff for home so I could train at home because I wasn't actually going to school in that period. There was like 8 weeks, maybe even 10, where we weren't going to school. Gyms were closed. So I had a home set up to just
Was
keep
that
a few
technically
things.
in New South or was that Queensland for you?
That was in New South.
That was in New
Yep.
South. Yeah.
That was in New South. Mawullumbar, Talgum,
That
Lymphenwood.
explains a
It
lot.
gives
doesn't
you straight away. That gives you a lot of understanding about what's going on here.
Yeah, have a look
If the
at
sunglasses didn't, then
Yeah, for all those that are just listening in at home, Kivah is wearing
Speed dealers.
they're Will's kids' sunnies that I can't. I'm looking at myself when I look at you in them, and I hate that I can see.
I just hate that
these
they're on.
bloody
I
sunglasses.
honestly hate that they're
I
on.
can take them off if you want.
No.
No,
it
you know
sounds
what?
like
Leave it on.
You do
It's
well
fine.
with them on.
Yeah.
Thanks, man.
Yep.
Proper
Continue.
bogan. Yeah.
Continue.
Explain a lot.
But yeah, just seeing those like little progressions each week and just stacking on little wins here and there, I was like, this is awesome.
It's
I love
addictive,
this.
isn't it?
And it's just that self-accomplishment as well.
Mm.
Just seeing yourself getting bigger, seeing the noticeable change, getting stronger, achieving these goals. I was like, this is awesome.
Mm.
I loved it. And basically from there, it just kept going.
Somehow being stronger than 90% of the population.
Yes. Yeah. I was a bit
Pound for
disappointed
pound.
to see how much he was pulling off the floor when I came in and thought, oh, shit.
You weren't that much different in weight that time either. He
Uh,
was about 75, 76
yeah.
when you first started.
Be close, I reckon.
I was probably less than that. I was under 70. We've been under 70.
Mm.
Yeah.
Mm.
Small boy. Yeah, like even you've definitely come out of and come into that a lot more. Like I even remember on the first, handful of sessions when the gym was still being built. I remember it was like a really hot day. We were in here and all the boys were growing out. I think Henny was here as well. And we were like trying to get Kivah to get his shirt off with the boys just so he could, join in the pump and have a bit of a.
Yeah, he doesn't fucking do it.
He didn't want to do it.
Yeah.
He waits until everyone leaves and then takes his
And
shirt
then takes
off.
it off.
Yeah.
But when he did, I remember, I think it was like Henny or something. He's like, holy shit. He's like, he's more jacked than all of us. Yeah. It's
Yeah,
ridiculous.
Henny was giving me some real big hype, and I was like, "Oh yeah, thanks, man." I mean, it's the work in progress. I'm still trying to get it better.
Does that help bring out a bit of that confidence
It
for
did,
you?
100%.
Yeah.
Because obviously, like I was looking at myself in the mirror, and I'd be like, "Oh, still kind of see the scrawny kid that I started off as,"
Mm,
and so
old body dysmorphia.
Mm.
that old chestnut.
mm,
And yeah, as I said, like just the reward for like those comments, just Henny being like, "Bro, fuck Jack, dude, so big."
Yep.
I'm like, really? Like, doesn't seem like that for me, but people recognize, even mates from school, they're like, "Bro, you've changed so much. You've gotten so much bigger, so much stronger.
Mm.
Like you've changed."
Mm.
And it's when I see people saying that, hear people saying that, I'm like, wow, like this is paying off.
Mm.
It is working.
So you don't quite see it until maybe you've got someone else
Yeah. Like,
giving you some of that feedback.
I think that highlights a key attribute of Kivah that is the reason why there is so many people around him that want to just help
Mm.
and why there's been people around him wanting to help since the start because he's very
Yeah.
humble.
I
Yes.
try
He
to
doesn't
be
walk around with an ego.
yeah.
He doesn't walk around with cockiness about him. He doesn't, no matter what he does, no matter what he achieves, he never brags, boasts,
No.
never lets it get to his head. It's always still very humble, and it keeps it, he's
I try my
he's
best.
very grateful to all of those around him. I think it's one of the main reasons why I was willing to help him for so long, purely because I was like, I knew that he appreciated it, and it wasn't just, taking me for a ride and being like, oh, fuck this guy, I'll just get free coaching and jet off to the next person. It's like every person who's helped him has been like, he's a good kid.
Simply, I think it's just simply because I know without all these people around me supporting me and encouraging me and motivating me and inspiring me, like I wouldn't be where I am. I wouldn't have achieved half the things that I've achieved now without everyone around me for support and motivation and just them wanting to see the best version of me and them picking me up even when maybe sometimes I couldn't necessarily pick myself up and just kind of motivate myself to get a few things done. Like, as I said, full I'm very grateful and very thankful for everyone around me to keep me going. Yeah.
Get the buzzer.
Get the buzzer.
No, that's great. I think that's an important, and just like that's something that I kind of really identify when I first came, because I worked with a lot of kids and obviously been an 18-year-old boy myself, and probably didn't exactly exuberate those attitudes that you do, and that's quite a refreshing thing to see, particularly these days. Like we got a lot of kids come through the gym. Not all of them are as switched on as Kivah Performance here.
No.
And definitely not as humble,
Plus, I also feel we attract a pretty good caliber of young kids in this gym.
Absolutely. We've got some
I do
incredibly
believe
strong ones.
Tobias downstairs.
Not even the strong ones, Look at people like Carson.
Yep.
Yeah.
He came in and, you can hang shit on him all you want, but he's a good kid.
Yes.
He's a very good kid. And I feel that we attract a lot of those type of people. We've got Tobias. We've got Evan. Like both of them have not just, Tobias is incredibly strong, but he's also very grateful to receive a little bit of help, a little bit of advice. Like he's not, fuck, I'm strong, whatever.
Yeah.
He's got a good nature about him, and same with his mate Evan. Like they're both really good kids. I think that's the type of people we do attract here at Nexus, because people like Kivah, because that's what we kind of put out, and that's what comes back.
Yeah. Well,
I think it's good.
Definitely more on brand for us, you know what I mean? To have a little bit of that attitude. You look at Will, it comes from the top down.
Yeah.
He's definitely not one to talk himself up and
very humble.
Throw his ego around at all. And that was quite evident, especially when we went down and saw him at Pro Raw this year. He was just
the most theatrical I've ever seen in my life.
Absolutely. But what I really liked about that was just he just stuck to the process the whole time. He just didn't waver from that plan at all. And that's also something that you picked up really well, is that, there's not a lot of, we don't hear a lot of talk back coming from you.
Yeah, well,
that's because he knows he wouldn't be fed.
100%.
Yeah.
If he locked in his room.
Yeah. If you want to come back to work next week, I don't expect to hear some talk back out of you.
Hey,
if you want dinner tonight, don't talk back to me.
But I think that's also just a bit of a testament to that character and that attitude for you, is just put your head down and get the work done, right? And you will see some good results that come from that.
Yeah, I try my best.
I think that's honestly a lesson for everyone.
Yes.
When you're in the beginning, just put your head down.
Yeah.
Just do the fucking work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, not going to be easy. It's not going to be fun sometimes. But if you stick to it and you continue to do it, you can deadlift 300 kilos at 19.
Yep. Should have put the sunnies on when you did it.
We didn't even have the sunnies then, I don't
Locked
think.
in.
They've been
loaded.
a new thing.
Nah, they're new. They're as of like
We had the
3?
PB bell.
We had the PB bell.
You rang that?
Oh, I actually never did.
Didn't you?
I never.
Sure you did.
No, I didn't ring the.
No, you
I
did.
rang it for. No, I did.
You did for your 300 kilos.
Because I did.
Once you finished slapping my back, I made
Yeah,
you.
no. Yeah, he made me. Yeah, he's like, ring the bell.
Go get the bell over there. It's not.
Give
near
my
me.
back a rest, bro.
Yeah. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, no, I did.
Definitely rang the bell.
Definitely
Okay,
rang
good.
the bell.
You just got to celebrate those wins.
Yeah,
along the way,
100%.
especially when you're working that hard.
100%.
Yep.
It was a similar moment to like when I hit my 150 bench, which was a really big milestone.
Slap the shit out of Josh.
No, I did it in the morning. It was. I think it was just me and Jordan. And Jordan spotted me, and she was like, "Let's get it!" Like she was just so ecstatic. Like, "Let's go!" Like, "Come on, you got this!"
Nice.
And I was like, "Yeah, this is sick." I'm
remember
freaking out right now, but this is sick.
I remember the first 140.
Yeah.
I think all of us were here. I think Mickey
Yeah.
filmed it.
Yep.
Yep.
We were all here. It was like an afternoon.
Is that when we still had the bench where the mono is?
Yes.
That was that.
Yes.
Yeah. Back in the day.
Big Wilbo
Yep. Spotting
behind me.
you. Yeah.
You got
I
this
was
kid.
spotting. Wilbo was behind me, spotting me.
Yeah.
Make sure I didn't fuck it up on the wall.
Like she didn't fall back into his painting and ruin
I think
that.
I fall back all the time into that thing.
Yeah, it's
when
probably
I'm
got a few
spotting.
sweat patches on it.
Rats. Sweaty boy things.
Sweaty
Yeah.
boy.
These things happen to the best of us.
They do. Yep.
Yeah, it's, as I said, like it genuinely highlights the fact of like working hard, just keeping your head down, sticking to the plan. Don't let it get ahead of you, because there's been points where like he has arguably been the strongest under 82 kilo lifter in Australia in his weight class, age class, etc. And that's been one thing that we've always worked on. Is I've always tried to just make sure he stays humble, make sure he just get it done, just do the shit you need to do.
Yeah.
Keep him in line. You know,
He
we've
does-
worked out a pretty good plan on comp days. Like I know when he needs headphones and when he doesn't, and when he needs to go and talk to people and when he doesn't. And it's just working like that long-term relationship. Once you start to develop an understanding about the individual, not just in a sense of like how they respond to training, but how they respond in just general day-to-day life things.
Yeah.
it's very easy for me to be like, okay, now I want you to take your headphones off, go and talk to everyone. Okay, now I want you to come back and this is what we're doing for the next couple of minutes.
And I think, actually, from my most recent comp, we did that really well. I think
the best performance you've ever had.
It was, he, like, in terms of handling me, like, just kept me so calm throughout the entire day. The only real thing was just me freaking myself out, just getting in my own head.
Sure.
And he was like, all right, sit down, headphones in now.
We've seen that at a couple comps from you.
Yeah, God, yeah. But Josh is amazing at just kind of keeping me under control, just knowing like when to, as he said, go and talk to people. Put your headphones in now. Just breathe, chill out. It's fine. You got this.
Yeah.
You know, just those kind of positive words that make me not think about those little like negatives that I'm freaking out about. And I know when I missed my third bench, from it was just butt lift, wasn't it? From memory, I think it was
just something like that. Yeah, I think your butt slightly moved or your foot or something.
Yeah,
it was.
Yeah. So it was like I got it, but tiny butt lift, totally fair, red lights. And I was kind of beating myself up. I was like, oh crap! If I just had kept my bum down, I would have gotten it. Like, just working myself up. And he's like, dude, it's fine. You got deadlifts. This is your lift. Go and sit down. Chill out. Have something to eat. Drink something. Yeah. And I was like, cool.
You can be, a little bit of an overthinker.
Oh,
at
God,
times.
yeah.
A little bit.
Yeah. A little bit. That's an understatement.
That is an unbelievable, undeniable.
That is a phenomenally big understatement.
Which is obviously something that we have to navigate as well, not just from a coaching perspective, but as an employment perspective as well.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's just, but what about this? What about it? It's like, no, just focus on that. Don't even think about this. Don't even worry about that. But sometimes that can bleed into some. I don't know if he told you this I think it was when you were away last week, and I left him a note on the sheet. I left him a note on the sheet to be like, if you get time, go do this task. Take money out of the till, go buy this thing. We need some stock. And I get in, and he comes back from being. I'm like, oh, did you get the thing? He's like, no. I thought that was a joke. I thought Josh wrote that. I left him clear instructions to do something. And he didn't do it because he thought that you had wrote it down.
I think there needs to be some context.
There's got to be some context.
Because
you have fucked with him.
He has messed
with him before, and I wrote a note on your daily tasks list. My handwriting's not the same as Alex's. No. It's vastly different.
Yeah.
And I wrote,
much scratchier.
Send. My handwriting's actually quite neat.
Tell the story.
Send Josh $500. And he turns around and goes over to Mickey with the sheet and goes, oh, hey, Mickey, do you know which account Josh wants me to send this to?
And Mickey looked at me like...
And Mickey
dude,
comes to me.
She's regretted a lot of her business decisions.
She's like, oh, we're going to have to rethink this.
Yeah, she come to me the next day and she's like, hey. No. Every single thing in my head is replaying, and I'm like,
What have I done?
Hello. You know what? See you later. Thanks for everything. But no, she's like, Kiva's going to transfer you $500. Definitely not going to trust him with the company card anytime soon. And I was like, what do you mean? I was like, surely you could have just seen the handwriting. Like, who thinks, Josh needs $500?
I'd like to know why you think that is a task that we would give to you. Did you think it came out of your account, out of our accounts? What did you think?
I was just like, it's on the Kivah Performance notepad. It's definitely important, needs to be addressed. Like, I just take my job very seriously. So
my favorite thing was that not he asked where the money's coming from. It was just which account does Josh
How do I give him the money?
Which account does Josh want this to?
How do I complete the task?
Literally.
And mind you, I remind you that Kivah and me live together.
Yes.
So
yes.
We are in the same household. And he went to work that morning and didn't know how to transfer me money.
Yes.
Even though he transfers me money for bills and rent and everything all the time.
On a weekly basis.
So what you're saying is you knew how to complete the task, but you wasted company time by asking unnecessary... No,
yes. Kind of, yeah.
Welcome to your performance review, Kivah Performance.
We're actually down 1,500. Where did it go?
Yeah, who are you sending it to? I hope there's no gym members listening and then as a result go fuck with the Kivah Performance notepad and put stuff.
The Kivah Performance notepad is off limits.
Do not touch the Kivah Performance notepad.
It's like it's Anchorman, isn't it? Where they give him the teleprompter and whatever they put on the prompter,
he just reads.
He'll just read.
Yeah,
that's like you.
Sick.
Kivah's a very literal person.
Yes. Yes.
So we're going to go through accounts next week and
Cool.
and really make sure that you understand it and probably limit some access here and there. And
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Terrific.
yeah, but we're getting him up to speed. We've you're hard at work getting your Cert 3 and 4 done in fitness.
Hard at work is
That's a very questionable.
that's a questionable.
This is not what your boss wants to hear right now, just so you know.
Yes.
Yes, good.
Yes.
You're getting it done.
Getting it done
Okay.
in the process.
In the process.
In the process.
Why do you want to do that? What's the kind of the longer term goal for you?
I do ultimately want to be a PT.
Yep.
As a career.
Cool.
So whether that is it eventuates into this space or just eventuates into another gym, don't mind.
Mhm.
But I would love to get into the realm of PT, become a coach. Ultimately, I would love to be kind of what Josh is, a strength coach. Well, very much what Josh is.
So you want his job and
no,
my job?
No.
So first you're coming for his job. Once you've taken it, you want to come and take my job.
Yes. No. No, I'd like to
Bro,
be more.
I'll fight you.
And I'll lose.
Your door doesn't have a lock on it at home.
Yeah, that's
Remember
true.
that.
My handle also pops off as well, so
It does do that.
it
yeah.
does do that. I remember just closing the door one day and just popped off. I was like, oh, sick.
So
Good.
remove it from the outside, lock you in your bedroom.
Yeah.
And you're only allowed out when I reconnect the
When you
handle
get
again.
your certs done.
So it's done. That's
Yeah.
it.
That's the only time.
Just locked in until it's done.
Yeah.
No food, no water.
The quicker he gets them, the quicker he gets my job.
That's true.
I'm disconnecting the internet.
Take his papers out of there so he can't get
He
it.
can't have anything.
Yeah. No
He has
phone.
to sit and think
Just got to
What
do
have
it
you
in my
done?
head.
about his actions.
His actions. The choices that you've made have led you to this. But
Yes.
why do you want to get into PT? Why do you want to take Josh's job?
Not so much Josh's job, but
Why are you coming for my career?
no, just like I guess having achieved the goals that I have, and experiencing what I have as his client, just accomplishing my goals. It's an amazing feeling for myself, and I would love to be able to do that for other people, help them reach their goals, whether it's mentally, physically, whether it's just getting stronger, fitter, healthier, whatever goal it may be.
Yep.
As I said, he's helped me achieve my goals, and he's still helping me achieve my goals. So I would love to be able to give that to other people and feel that same kind of accomplishment as a coach and a person, to know that I've helped these people achieve things that they've wanted to achieve.
Absolutely.
I don't really have too much more to express
No,
on
that's
that.
I
fine.
think that's a pretty bloody good answer, to be
Yeah.
honest, because I think that's what keeps 90% of us in the job.
How good is that feeling, like when you do genuinely, whether it be help someone through something they've been struggling with, or achieve a longer term goal, even a short term goal, like the the chemical formation in your brain when that hits and you just get the fuzzies down there, you're just like,
Bro,
that is the
old-
thing. That's the thing.
The dopamine buzzer.
Yeah.
The
Just
dopamine buzzer.
triggers.
Yeah, and it
Yeah.
just pours into your brain, and you go, "This is exactly where you need to be in this exact moment." I love that
It
feeling.
genuinely makes sense why a lot of coaches, PTs, etc., have ADHD. Because obviously a lack of dopamine. They
Right.
need to seek dopamine. They love training.
Interesting.
Training provides dopamine.
Mm,
What else provides dopamine? Other people achieving their training goals.
mm.
So you're getting
Yeah.
dopamine from both ends of the spectrum, and it just keeps you bloody
Dopamine
chugging
up.
along. Yeah,
Yeah.
dopamine up, happy,
Dopamine
healthy.
up.
Supercharged.
Beautiful.
There's literally no better feeling.
No,
I think it's better watching someone else achieve their goal, because, as I mentioned before, from like a coaching perspective, it's one of those things that's like, it's great to achieve things for yourself. It really is. Gives you a bit of sense of self-satisfaction. But I find 9 times out of 10, once I achieve a goal, I'm like, okay, what's next? for
Yes.
me?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
But like,
I was going to say that as
you
well.
notice clients do that, and you're like, no.
Mm.
We're going to spend a bit of time here.
Celebrate
You
that.
need to
Yeah.
understand what you've just done. Like,
Yeah.
happened recently with Amber when she finally got to go to Kokoda.
Yep.
Happened with Sammy when she's achieving all her goals
Yeah.
with her
Yep.
hockey career. Happened when Kivah deadlifted 300. Like, the satisfaction and the joy I got from those moments far outweigh anything I've ever done.
Absolutely. Yep.
Like, I love that way more than my own stuff.
Yep. I would say that to be true as well with even just the recent Deadlift for Dogs comp. Like, for me, it was a great day, help set up the event, organize it, run it, coach athletes through it, coach myself through it, compete on the day. The most rewarding and enjoyable part was see all the boys get a good result and have the best time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was honestly the best part.
Yeah.
It keeps you
100%.
going. There's nothing else that'll get me to a comp all weekend.
Yeah.
12, 13, 14-hour days.
Yeah.
I'm not there because I really enjoy
It's-
14-hour days standing around. I'm there because I'm like, these people have
Yep.
put time, effort, money,
Energy.
everything into this. I'm just here to help facilitate their day
That's
and get them the best result they possibly can.
Yeah, and you've got to remember that as well, particularly if you are going to spectate something like powerlifting for 12 hours of a day. It's not the most enjoyable and entertaining.
It's fucking boring.
Yeah,
I'll be honest.
Sure,
it's a long day.
But watching people achieve things it's
fantastic.
Like Amber actually made the comment. She came to support Deadlift for Dogs. She'd never ever been to a powerlifting comp, never watched one, never done anything. She's like, "Oh, I'll just drop down for an hour." And then I think she was here for 20 minutes, messaged her husband and said, "Hey, I'm not coming home." Until this is done.
That.
And stayed here all day because she just said watching, and I had a couple of other clients who, and I encourage pretty much every new gym member, even if they don't have a specific interest in powerlifting, when they come into this gym, I always encourage them to come to novice comps, to come and watch. You know, if I got a couple of guys competing, I'm like, hey, come down, drop in for an hour.
Yeah.
An hour on your Saturday, that's it.
Just see what it's about.
Come and see the camaraderie. Come and see what it's about. Come and see what we know powerlifting to be.
Yeah.
And without a doubt, almost 99% of the time, they're like, holy fuck.
Yeah.
This is sick. Like the
This,
support from everyone, the crowd getting around everyone, like people competing against each other that are still cheering each other on.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, it's like it's an individual sport, but the community around it is what makes it. And I genuinely don't think there's a sport like it.
the community around this sport is something that got me instantly.
Yeah.
I was like, pretty much the second I stepped foot into this gym when it first officially opened, there were people coming into the space. I was like gobsmacked. I was like, wow. There is just so much support going on. We're all just getting around each other, cheering each other on. People that didn't even know me, I'd never met before, guys who were bigger and stronger than me and had achieved amazing things in comp. Like, they were like, bro, you just killed it. You did so well. Like, fist bumping me and like high fiving me. And I'm like, this is amazing. This is a phenomenal feeling.
Absolutely.
An awesome feeling, especially for someone like so young as well. Just having people, again, around you just to support you. It's a great feeling.
I remember a couple of times, like you just talking to, like, let's, you know, for the flip side of someone in your position of being new to the sport and still coming up, and then someone like Polkov who's been around it so long that he's so broken and can
Polkov pops it on this,
he actually does.
Every time he gets mentioned, it's always about being broken.
This is the point that I was going to make, though, because we love Ben being here, and I love someone having that kind of experience and sharing some of those stories with some of the newer kids, giving them some, like he always, I remember one time in particular where he was just, and you obviously really took that on board as the humble athlete that you are, but just really congratulating you on the work that you've been putting on. He was very impressed to see it. Yeah. And it was just such an interesting dynamic of this, you know, old experience, but no, he's not that old. I'm not drilling him here, but
older,
more experienced powerlifter and someone who's just fresh new to the sport, and the way that you two were connecting and getting on. And it's like, you know, there's something very special about that. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I don't think there's a sport that brings people together that way.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of one as
I'm genuinely like, I've played multiple different sports my whole life, and there's just not a sport that has the same camaraderie as powerlifting from every sense, because at the end of the day, everyone just wants to see everyone do the best they can. Like, that's literally it. That's what got me into the sport at the start as well, is it was, you know, I grew up playing team sports. All of a sudden I couldn't play team sport anymore. Bodybuilding, that's a very individual sport. There's not a whole lot of people cheering you on in bodybuilding. There's not a whole lot of anything in bodybuilding. Not if you enjoy bodybuilding, that's great. Congratulations. But like, it was powerlifting when I just sort of started to get a feel for it. And then a couple of the older boys, Andy, Idan, etc., who, like, for me at the time, I'd already followed Will for quite a while on Instagram. And then I, you know, just started to find some of the Gold Coast powerlifters and like what I would guess, quote unquote, the OGs. And then all of a sudden, like, just connect on Instagram. And then these guys, you'd run into them randomly and they'd be like the friendliest people you've ever met in your life. Hey, man, how you doing? I saw you bench 100 kilos the other day. That's fucking awesome. Congratulations. And you're like, this is a guy who benches 200 plus.
Yeah.
And he's congratulating me on doing 100 kilos. Like, what?
Yeah.
And you're just kind of, oh, thanks.
He remembers his first 100, right? Like,
well, that's the thing, is like, I remember my first 100.
Yeah.
It was disgusting. The worst. It was the ugliest.
Pull it up.
I've got the video, because I'd bulked a disgusting amount. So I was like 95 kilos or 94 kilos or something gross, and I was just fat. And I remember this Good Life Rabina. I've still got the video, so we can bring it up. But
I want to see it.
Essentially, I got handed the bar out, and I brought it maybe, I'd say halfway, if I'm lucky.
Okay.
To my chest.
Yeah.
And then pressed it back up.
Yeah.
Racked it like I was a fucking king. And then didn't touch the weight again for like 3 more years.
Sick.
Until I could actually properly bench it.
Yeah.
Which I was just a very slow bencher. This was back before programs were a thing. The internet's a wonderful place now.
Before programs were a thing.
It kind of was, but it wasn't. Like not in the sense,
1700s.
not in the sense that we have it now. Not with this ease of access that we have now. Like, you throw a stone at the moment on Instagram and you can find 10 different powerlifting programs.
Absolutely.
None as good as ours.
Just so you know.
That's a plug.
We got one more plug that we didn't even. We actually didn't. Nikki's going to slam us for that one.
This is a big announcement.
We actually have a big announcement. So
to interrupt.
And it has been talked a little bit on the podcast. You've probably seen on the socials, on Will's socials, on the Nexus AUS account. We are partnering with Eugene Tao, Ganbaru X Nexus Performance.
Yep.
So we are
the collab of the century.
The
collab you didn't know you needed.
Yes, but you will need it. And so
get this program.
Yeah. Essentially, that is going to be our level 1 programming service moving to Ganbaru. So we're going to be within the app. We're going to have a ton of programs in there. It's going to be a good time. I'm really looking forward to that.
The funniest thing about all that, and I said this to Will and Mickey, is that like one of the very, very like way back in the day when I first discovered Eugene through Instagram or YouTube or something, and I remember when Eugene launched Ganbaru, I was one of the first members.
There you go.
So I signed up for it pre him doing it. Like he had a pre-launch kind of thing.
Right.
So I signed up to it then because you got a special price. I think it was like $8 a week or something, or $11 a week or something. And I was like, at the time, I had no program, I had nothing. Like, I didn't really know. I was like, I need to learn a little bit more about training.
Yeah.
I like this guy's approach.
Yeah.
And I remember when it was like the first week it went live, and there was like 3 videos on there.
Yep.
So to now, all these years later, be in a position where like we're working within that.
Yeah.
And
collaborating
with that is fucking crazy to me.
Yep. They're doing Will and Eugene are putting out some. Eugene has been putting out great content for years.
Yeah.
And it's exciting to see him trying to format it for Wilbo to put it a little bit more in the simpler terms, for some of the quicker videos, but then allowing him to go into, his full detailed explanations and coaching strategies and stuff when it comes to things like the squat, bench, and the deadlift. And that's going to be some really good content coming out and so much value for someone who just maybe is in your position, who just wants to learn more and wants to get into powerlifting, but doesn't have a good program, doesn't have any coaching or whatever, where you can get access to some really high quality programs for a dirt cheap price. Like it's actually
less than the price of a coffee a day.
There you go.
Way less nowadays with inflation.
Who needs a coffee when you got?
But like honestly, to see like the work that's been put in from Mickey and Will and the back end and all the stuff to actually see what's been put in to get it to this point is crazy.
Yeah.
And I remember when they first talked to us about it, and they were just like a little bit of a, not so much a pipe dream, because pretty much anytime Mickey says something, it's going to happen.
Yes.
Very quickly.
We're thinking about doing this. We're like, how long we got?
Yeah.
A week, it's done.
We're thinking, it's the same as the gym. Oh, hey, we were thinking about maybe opening a gym.
Yep.
And then like 3 days later, hey, so we've got a location. When are you guys like? And I was just like, fuck, this is it. But yeah, to see the work that's been put in on the back end and just to see and know what type of value is going to be provided in this system for everyone, for the members of Ganbaru, for anyone who joined Ganbaru, for anyone from Nexus who jumps onto that system, and then the software and things like that is going to be insane.
We're going to be bringing that to the gym as well and integrating that as part of our services here, which is great that we've just gone through a lot of membership stuff and we'll have to go over it again.
Yeah.
But that's totally always do everything twice. That's the rule. It really drills it in. But that's going to be an exciting part of a programming service that's coming to Nexus. That's the hardest thing, I think, that when we were talking about that as well is trying to have something that is a more dedicated programming service, even though we very highly value and know the value of coaching, right? And that's always a bit of a trade-off when it comes to programming versus coaching. We've talked about that a million times on the podcast. We have an episode on that. We have a whole episode on it, right? But at the same token, if it helps get more people into the sport, if it helps get more people started in the gym, at a better position than when you were before. If you have no idea how to bench press and you go and watch Wilbo Baggins teach Eugene how to bench, and you're like, oh, now I have a general understanding, and that gets you under the bar.
Yeah, kind of highlights what I mentioned before about when I started. There was nothing. Yeah, there was no information.
Right.
There was no training. There was no online stuff. There was no people giving out the information that's out there now. Programs were expensive if you had to buy them. They're only from the States, and you had to know the specific coach.
Yeah.
And for like,
Whereas now, like it's just it's going to be insane.
Yeah.
And for like people who are, as you said, new to the sport or are just coming into the sport and they don't necessarily know too much about how to bench, how to squat, how to deadlift, you've got some really great information and very knowledgeable people teaching you.
One of the best places to start that you could possibly have, particularly in this day and age. And that's even on the flip side of that, if you are an experienced powerlifter, you're not running anything at the moment, you don't have any competitions coming up. It's like you have some really great off-season programs there as well. I think we go into peaking programs as well in there.
I think there's a few. They'll definitely all get announced. I know as far as there's restore, build.
Yeah,
I believe the peak
Skill
is
block.
going to be added eventually.
Yeah,
but I think the starting blocks is literally just
you
few different outlets and pick one and follow it along.
So you've got so many options there as well. That if you're in that service, you're in Gambara, you've got access to how many other thousands of fucking programs in there.
Oh, it's crazy.
Yeah.
It's pretty much limitless.
Yeah.
You can play around with so much stuff in there.
Yeah.
So that'd be really cool.
So that's what's coming up. We sidetracked into it.
I
think that's a very
honestly almost think that's a bloody great way to wrap it up.
That's a great way to wrap it up.
Yeah.
We want to thank Kivah Performance for his time.
Thank you, Kivah.
Thank you for having me on the podcast.
We love it.
Thank you for keeping your word limit down.
Yep.
Yes, I tried my best.
He actually done pretty well.
He did do.
We didn't need the buzzer.
It's the Sunnies.
Probably the Sunnies. Yep.
That's a bet.
All right, let's wrap this up.
You know what? We're going to call that one there.
And we'll
Thank
leave
you
it
very
there.
much.
Thanks. Stay tuned.
Tune in next time.
Yep.
Yeah.
Gambaro.
Perfect.
Nexus. Wrap it up. Can you press the...
Oh,
Yep.
Tough.
Come to Nexus. Oh.
Sorry, Nick.
Come to Nexus.
Thank you for listening to the Nexus Unloaded podcast. Be sure to jump on our website to find details on everything mentioned in the podcast today, plus information on our coaching, mentoring, and gyms based in the Gold Coast and Townsville. Make sure you follow us on our Instagram for any updates on what we are currently doing, and we'll see you all in the next episode.